What's up guys? Welcome back to the channel and thanks so much for joining me today for what is going to be a tutorial, obviously, starting barefaced here, but it's going to be using products that just need more love and attention from me and from everybody else. Some of these products I used to love and use all the time, and others are things that I don't have a ton of experience with, but I want to get to know more because I know other products from the brand that I really love. So let's go ahead and get started. So first I want to start with foundation. Ooh, actually, do I though? No. This eyeshadow look, I don't know what I'm going to do, and it might be a little experimental and therefore messy, so we're going to do the eyes first. Starting with an eyeshadow base, I'm going to go in with a crayon from Linda Hallberg Cosmetics. Both of the things I'm going to use on my eyes today are from her. The palette that I want to dip into is called Enchanted Mysteries. It is absolutely gorgeous. Very simple, but gorgeous. This is showing up as green on my viewfinder, but hopefully you can see maybe in a close-up that it's actually multichromatic with like a deep emerald green, but also a blue, but then shifts into a purple situation. And then this over here looks like a classic frosty white, but it has a purpley pink and even a blue shift to it as well. So looks simple, very complex. I want to complement it with a colorful base, and I love Linda Hallberg crayons. So these are some of her flash crayons. I think for the color palette I'm working with here, I'm going to go in with Whipple Flash, which looks like a mid-tone metallic brown. Okay, so you can see I've already started applying this all over my lid. I just like to apply these directly all the way up to my crease, and then I go in with a blending brush. This one's from e.l.f. It is the crease brush, and I blend that up. And for this, I feel like I can go even higher. It's gonna be a dramatic look, clearly. But what actually sparked the idea for this video is I was going through my collection because I did a massive collection clean out, like the biggest I've ever done. Consolidated 3 of those tall, like 9-drawer Alex units from IKEA, the one that I feel like everyone used to keep their makeup in. Consolidated from 3 to 1.5. So in looking at a bunch of stuff that I'd had for years, had for way too long, like probably wouldn't have been safe to use, but I was finding things that had been, you know, buried underneath other products, had been shoved to back of the drawer because they were full. They were not organized. They were not well kept. Like it was time long overdue for a clean out. And as I was finding some of these items that I used to love, but just never thought to reach for them because they weren't visible in any of my stuff, I thought, let's talk about these things. These are things that people need to know about, and also just things that I want to put back in my regular makeup rotation. So that is what inspired this. There won't be a video coming on the makeup clean out because I needed minimal tasks to do. When it comes to a daunting task like that, the more I pile on other things like, oh, well then I could make a video about it. But then how would I structure the video? Like the more things I give myself to think about, the less likely I am to do that task, right? It's more overwhelming to think I'm not only going to clean out my collection, but I'm also going to make a video or maybe multiple videos or that kind of thing. But we're doing this video instead, so hopefully that is okay. I also was cleaning it out because there is going to be a background change here pretty soon. I got a sound booth, a recording booth, that's going to be taking up most of this wall. So the vanity behind me is going to disappear. I think it's maybe time to move that, if not retire it. So to everyone who is super annoyed, I see your comments, I promise. I hear your comments about being annoyed that you can see my arms behind me moving, that it's distracting. It's going away. No more vanity, at least I don't think. I don't currently have a plan for a new background, but the vanity is not in the cards because there will be a big sound booth behind me. So I'm really excited about that. I have been working in a closet that I soundproof because a closet's the perfect size in your house. Like a moderately sized walk-in closet is perfect for a sound booth. However, drywall, not great for keeping outside noises in. If you can find some foam, the foam like acoustic tiles to put on the side of your walls, it's great at killing echo. Still awful at keeping exterior sounds in. So I am so excited to have this booth, but I'm a little, for those of you who might not know, I'm a voice actor. Outside of YouTube, most of what I do is actually voice acting. So I spend most of my time in a closet basically. And so it's going to be nice to get into a booth, but I'm a little interested to see how this goes because it's self-assembly. Like, it's a full-on sound booth with lighting and outlets and things like that, a ventilation system, but it's self-assembly. So hopefully we can get it set up fast. Ugh, I just love these crayons. This is exactly why I wanted to pull these back out, because they are so creamy, easy to work with. The pigmentation is gorgeous. She just made some incredible, complex shades. She is a pro with that. And she is a makeup artist, so it's unsurprising that she makes a good product. But I mean, I just think she really nailed it on the formula, the shades, everything. I love these pencils. Okay, now let's start working in this palette. I'm gonna go in with this satiny black shade called Void and start patting that in my outer corner. And if you don't follow Linda Hallberg, by the way, on Instagram, you should. She has some of the most incredible makeup looks, literally everything from wild and incredibly complex and creative to simple and sleek, but still, you know, the color placement, the structure, you know, things in placement that I just never would have thought of, but she wears it like it's like, oh, that's my everyday winged liner, like graphic winged liner, but then she'll do something, you know, totally unexpected with it. Highly recommend you follow her. This, I am sorry to say, will be nothing like what she does, but hopefully we're still having fun. Now taking that bronzy gold shade called Aura, taking a flat shader brush. This is an old one. I don't even know if it's still around, from Makeup Forever, called the 240 Straight and Wavy. I don't think it's either of those things, but whatever. I'm gonna pat that on my lid, basically all over my lid, blending it into that black shade. Super quick, kind of haphazardly, because I really wanna get to this multichromatic shade, the green, where I'm just gonna use my finger and pat that right where the gold and black meet. It's so gorgeous! Like, truly, and especially like, oh, I really like that. Especially how it transforms over the gold versus the black. I think both of the shades bring out different undertones in this shadow. It's so pretty. And it's somehow colorful, yet it doesn't feel like it's an in-your-face rainbow sort of look. It's more like an oil slick smoky eye kind of thing. And I love that. Now taking a brush, this is one from, I don't even know that Lex makes these anymore, from her Made You Look brush collection, and this doesn't have a number, but it's just any sort of tapered pencil sort of brush. I'm going to use that to brush that same green shade along my inner corner, really packing it in there. And then same brush, I actually just cleaned it off using a damp face halo. I'm going to go in with that white shade in my inner corner. And honestly, this look did not make too much of a mess. I probably could have done my foundation without worrying about fallout. Okay, for mascara, I'm using L'Oreal's Air Volume Mascara. Not going too crazy with the coats, just a couple of light coats because you know me, number one, I hate mascara. It is the most boring part of my makeup routine. And two, because I'm gonna go in with some falsies later with some lash glue liner. Okay, zooming out a little bit to do foundation, I'm gonna use the LA Girl Pro Matte HD Longwear Matte Foundation. Mine is in the shade Soft Beige, and this I just feel like is so underrated. I've used it relatively recently, like within the past few months here on the channel. I forget which video it's been in, but it's less that I haven't used this in a while and more that other people aren't using this foundation. It's super inexpensive, like very affordable, but also very amazing. It gives a nice satiny, soft matte finish. It's not, you know, the cakey drugstore foundations of the past where when it said matte, it would be like little too dry and crepey looking and unforgiving and not layerable. This is not at all like that. Who am I using my hands? I am distracted, but I don't hate it. Let's continue on. Now, if you do find that this LA Girl matte foundation is still too cakey, you can always thin it out. This is true for every foundation. You can thin it out with a moisturizer or a hydrating primer or even a thinner foundation. I was actually thinking the other day as I was mixing foundations that people should really do like foundation mixing videos, because I have found that I'm doing it more often on days when I know I want the certain finish of one foundation, but the texture of another. I've just taken to combining the two, like really cocktailing my foundations and my moisturizers and seeing what I get, and I've really been liking the results. So never be afraid to cocktail your foundations, friends. Now for concealer, this is my Milani Conceal and Perfect Longwear Concealer in the shade 125 Light Natural. Again, this is not one that has fallen to the back of my collection by any means. I've been using it a lot recently, but I think other people should use it more a lot too, because it's just a really good formula. It's relatively full coverage. I mean, it's not quite getting into like Shape Tape territory, but it's kind of close and very buildable, but much more hydrating, I find. Not too hydrating. I still have a combo skin type and so tend to worry about makeup meltdown, you know, in the center of my face and under eye area, but just enough to avoid looking creepy, you know? Okay, I'm caving and I'm finally using a brush. This is a dual-ended brush that's ages old from IT Cosmetics, one of those where it's foundation on one side, concealer on the other, but I just need a nice buffer because I'm noticing that with my fingers, you know, the more I layer product up, the more it is kind of sitting on top of everything else. And so I just need something to buff, blend, and even, you know, absorb a little bit of that excess product like a brush will. Onto the brows. I am using Anastasia's Brow Freeze, which is not underrated, nor is it old. It's brand spanking new. I just talked about it in a recent upload, where I also mentioned that I'm still kind of trying to figure out how to use it, so I'm going to continue that journey of learning today. So here I have this e.l.f. Eyebrow Duo Brush. I took it on the spoolie end, and I'm just running that through my brows, starting at the beginning, brushing it up. But even now, I mentioned this in that where I did a mini review of it. I'll link to that down below if you want to go see it. I can see it's making product pill. Right, that's not dry skin. It's like it must be foundation because you can see my brush is a little bit tinted. So I must have needed to clean my brows of foundation before I did this because it is majorly pilling. But anywho, so what I like to do is brush my brows up like this, make them follow the rough shape of my arch. And this is where I will leave them for now. You can see the difference, just such a much more defined arch. You can also, if you're up close, you can see more individual brow definition. Like the brow hairs themselves are more defined, and I'm gonna clean this off. This is once again my face halo. I do that because, again, I just have problems with product pilling, so I wanna make sure I start with an absolutely clean spoolie. And speaking of cleaning, I'm just gonna run my finger through my brows to make sure any excess product there is removed, and we'll give this another go. Maybe what I need to do is this, where I run it all the way, like lightly through my brows, and then, oop, too much. Oh, too feathery, way too Hey, where you going, Big Bird? Put those brows down. Yeah, I think that's better. So now I'm going to, once again, remove that excess product, and this is where I run into trouble. So the front part, especially of my brows, is like stuck to my face. Like it's laying like it is saran wrap to the front of my face. And so what I like to do is take a clean spoolie and just start loosening those hairs just to give them, you know, mussen them up, giving them a little bit of volume so they don't look like they're glued to my face. But this is, again, where I run into issues with pilling of product. But it is a little bit better, and honestly, this is as much time as I want to dedicate to brows. So let's move on to bronzer. I am going into this one. I think they launched this, gosh, is it already 2 years? A year and a half, maybe even 2 years ago. The Bare Minerals Bare Pro Glow bronzer, like their liquid bronzer. This is in the shade Faux Tan. I hope it's still available. I think it's still available. I'm pretty sure it was a permanent product. And this I do need a brush for, but I love how natural this looks, how beautifully it blends in with literally whatever you put it over top of, or because it's a super thin liquid, you could wear it alone and it doesn't look like you're wearing a thick cream or a thick powder on top of bare skin. You know, that can sometimes happen, like a powder you can get sort of a cast to the skin, and a cream, there's just a texture difference between where you laid down product and where your natural skin texture is. But because this is such a thin liquid product, it melts into whatever you set it on top of. Oh, forgot how much I love this stuff. This brush, by the way, is a Zoeva Luxe Cheek Finish, or 126 brush. So that I'm taking basically in a bronzer fashion, and I'm working that into the contours of my cheeks back here, but also sweeping it up to the front of the face, kind of very lightly dusting around, like underneath the apples of my cheeks and along my jaw. So gorgeous. And then in keeping with the liquid product trend, I had to pull back out my M Cosmetics Serum blushes. Another amazing formula. really, I mean, I feel like I start thinking about liquid and cream products for my skin in the summer, but they're really perfect for winter when your skin might be, you know, dry and just needing some extra hydration, some extra moisture. These are amazing products year round is what I'm trying to say. Go get you some cream and liquid products. The shade that I'm using in the Serum blush is Soft Amethyst. Why did I choose this one? I have more of a peachy one that I'm thinking I'm gonna go. Oh, did I choose it because of my shirt? Nope, that's orange. Well, let's just see if it's a bad choice. So I'm just gonna use the same brush from Zoeva. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. Not too much, just a soft whisper of tone on the cheeks. I dig it. I gotta tell you, I've been so tempted by new M. Oh, that was a bit much. That was a little dramatic. Yowza, yowza, yowza. No. I've been so tempted by new M Cosmetics products. She launched like the Clementine collection, and then I think she has a new one. Or maybe it's like the difference between like a soft Clementine and a deep Clementine. Either way, she has a new eyeshadow palette, and I'd never tried her palettes before, along with her lip products. I've never tried any of those before, and so she has sets on her website that I thought, it's so tempting to get it. Why am I using this? It still has product on it. Clean brush. Woo, we overdid it. This is the hazard of using your fingers to apply foundation and not a brush, because now I don't have, I guess this works, but like basically a brush with lots of excess foundation that can take some of that extra blush out. A pretty decent job. Okay, let's move on to lips. I wanted to pull out, I rarely used lip liner ever. Like historically, it's just not my thing. I like very simple lips, but when I have reached for lip liner, it has been this Makeup Forever Artist Color Pencil in the shade Wherever Walnut. And the thing that this needs a good sharpen. The thing that I love about these pencils is they're meant to be used everywhere, like not just on the lips, but on the eyes, the cheeks, wherever you want color. That's what these are for. And because of that, the collection has a ton of different shades, like really fun. In fact, I think I bought this one, and then I also bought an emerald color. Super gorgeous. I will link to that video. Gosh, that's, again, probably like 2 years old. I'll link to that down below. But they're just really, really nice. And this, for me, is like a Your Lips But Better shade. It just takes my natural lip tone and deepens it a little bit. It doesn't cool it down. It doesn't make it, you know, a little too cool and taupey feeling, which I feel like some nudes can. They cool the nude down a little bit, and that, depending on how I wear it and what I wear it with, can make me look a little dead. This maintains my skin tone without cooling it down, or warming it up for that matter. It really is just a true neutral light pinky nude. Normally I would just wear this like this, but today I wanted to reach back into another lip product that loved when they came out, haven't much reached for since just because a lot of stuff keeps coming out. These are the L'Oreal, oh my gosh, they don't list them on the front, but basically they are the they're lip stains. They're lip stains from L'Oreal that are pigmented but also slightly sheer. So they just look like a natural, they'll look less sheer because this shade that I picked, which is 416 I Create, this shade is very, very close to that liner shade that I just picked. But I just wanted to add a little bit of a balmy sheen to this, you know, probably not a huge difference. You could pick one or the other to do, but I like the two together. So that, my friends, is the final look. The cheeks might still be a little bit much with the eyes, but I gotta tell you what, I am obsessed with the eyes. Love that palette. So glad I pulled it out. And I'd love to hear from you guys. What products should you reach into the back of your collection for to pull out? Because it just, even though you might love it or you might want to get to know it more, it just keeps getting sidelined in favor of other things. Tell me what that product is, reach back in and use it. You'll probably like it, and if not, you get to declutter it, which is such a satisfying feeling. I need to be done talking. This was one of the most chatty tutorials I've done lately, but let me know if you like it down in the comments below. And besides that, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye, guys.